Just a day ago, Xiaomi Mobile Philippines has formally introduced this device. This is the Redmi Note 9S. And at 10,490 pesos, it has some of the most attractive specs that you will ever see at that price point yet. So guys, today we will be unboxing this phone. I actually unboxed it live last night. We will be doing a re-unboxing. And I will share with you my thoughts about this. Hi, this is Peter of GIZGUIDEPH and this is the Redmi Note 9S unboxing and first impressions. Let's begin. So guys, this is the box of this phone. As you can see, it has the label stating that it is the Redmi Note 9S. Redmi Note 9S, I believe that this is the upgrade of the Redmi Note 8. The Redmi Note 8 last year, it is one of the most attractive device that you'll find under 10,000 pesos. And this one, although it's a bit pricier, I think this one can compete even against with the Redmi Note 8 Pro, and I won't blame you if you will pick it over that device. Anyway, it says here that it has 6 gigs of RAM and 1 to 8 gigs of storage. The unit that I have is the Aurora Blue version, but you can also get it in Interstellar Black and Glacier White colorways. Anyway, there is also a version of this phone that has 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, but as you saw earlier, the one that we will be unboxing today is the 6 gigs of RAM and 1 to 8 gigabytes of storage version. The good thing about this phone is yung storage niya, it is using the UFS 2.1 technology already. That is faster and that is more reliable than the older eMMC or UFS 2.0 solution. The first thing that we saw inside the box is this SIM ejector tool. You will need that. This is for opening the phone if you want to change its SIM card. And then next is this. Maybe the paper documentations. Yes, it is the warranty card and the user guide. The warranty card, just skip it. The user guide, it has the manual on how do you operate your device. Yeah, here you can see that it has a nano SIM, and an SD card, meaning 2 nano SIMs, slots for nano SIMs. And then next is its case. It is always nice to know that phone makers are now putting cases inside the packaging of their device, and this will protect your phone from accidental drops, bumps, and unwanted damages. Next is the phone itself. The phone itself, as you can see, it reads here that it is powered by the Snapdragon 720G. That chipset is an 8nm chip. 8nm chip, meaning it is power efficient, and it is a fairly new type of chipset that is actually impressive for a phone priced this low. Next is you get a 48MP AI quad camera and then 16MP in-display front camera. And as I mentioned yesterday, if you were able to watch my live yesterday, I said that it is not an in-display front camera, it is a punch hole front camera. In-display cameras are yet to be available. The first in-display camera that I've ever seen is in Malaysia last December 2019, and it is not even out in the market yet. But I know Xiaomi is also working on their own solution for that technology, but it is not on this phone. Next is you get a 6.67 FHD Plus dot display with a side-mounted fingerprint reader. Yeah, side-mounted, yes. And then a 5020 milliamperes battery. Wow, that's huge, with 18 watts fast charging. And now we will be opening this. I actually used this already yesterday, but for the sake of this unboxing, let's do it again. Anyway, here you go. This is the phone itself, and it's beautiful. It looks really good. Next is you'll find a charger. This USB wall charger is a charger that has 22.5 watts. I mentioned earlier that it only has 18 watts of fast charging support, but that's okay. This one has an adaptive technology, meaning it adapts to the actual charging capacity of your device. So even if it has over 20 watts of charging, your phone will still receive 18 watts of charging, and that is the safe charging for this handset. And I like that. Next is this. You will see that this is the USB-A to USB Type-C port. And I like that kasi at least Xiaomi is putting USB Type-C ports, reversible Type-C ports that are faster and better than older types of charging and data transfer cables on budget devices, and that is a very pleasant sight to see. Next, I also noticed that it has a pre-installed screen protector. Not all brands are putting a pre-installed screen protector on their phone. At least with this device, you get a case, and then you also have a screen protector to protect your phone from unwanted damages. And you don't have to buy a case and a screen protector anymore. Maybe you want to upgrade it to a tempered glass, but if you don't have time for it, especially during the ECQ right now, I hope you guys are safe at home. Anyway, that's everything that I saw inside the box. What's missing in the package? There's no earphones as usual. All Xiaomi phones does not come with an earphones, and I'm still hoping that maybe one day they will include free earphones in their package. But so far, that's everything that we saw inside the box. Now, I finally unboxed the phone and I want to talk about its full specifications. Number one, this handset has a big 6.67-inch display, and the aspect ratio is 20:9, meaning it is a close to cinematic type of display. And it also has this FHD Plus 2400 by 1080 resolution, meaning it's a 1080p screen that is actually sharp enough, crisp enough, and good enough. And I also like to note that it is using an LCD LTPS panel, and even if it has that type of panel, Xiaomi was able to add a punch hole display here, and commonly punch holes are found on higher end smartphones with AMOLED technology. But I'm glad to note that Xiaomi was able to include that feature in this device, even if it is a budget phone. For the chipset, this device is equipped with the 2.3 GHz 8nm Snapdragon 720G octa-core processor. That chipset is the upgrade of the Snapdragon 712, and it is, I think, more power efficient versus the Snapdragon 730 chipset. And that chip is probably more powerful than most chipsets found in the 10,000 pesos to 12,000 pesos price range. And I'm happy to report that this device has that. And that one is paired with the Adreno 618 GPU, meaning I think this can game. This can game quite well, most likely. And then it also has 4 gigs of RAM, at least 4 gigs of RAM LPDDR4X. You get 6 gigabytes of RAM as well. There's a variant with 6 gigabytes of RAM. And then you can choose to 64 gig or 128 gigs of storage, and as mentioned earlier, it is an expandable type of storage up to 256 gig. And look at this, it has this triple SIM slots, triple tray slots for the dual nano SIM and the micro SD card. Not every phone maker is putting this type of SIM card and micro SD card tray here. It's a complete type of tray, and that is something that I appreciate with the way that Xiaomi built this device. Anyway, next is it has 48MP camera. The main camera is a 48MP sensor, and then it is paired with an 8MP 119-degree ultra-wide angle camera. The main camera, by the way, is a Samsung ISO Cell GM2. It's not the GM1 anymore, meaning it is the upgraded version of the first 48MP camera of Samsung. And it's nice that this type of sensor is found on a budget device. If I can remember correctly, the other device that has that type of GM2 ISO cell sensor at 48 MP is the Samsung Galaxy A50s. And Samsung Galaxy A50s that one is priced at around 16,000 pesos. Yeah, and this one is just 10,490. And then next you get a 5MP f2.4 2cm macro camera. At least it is bigger than most 2MP macro cameras. And then you get another 2MP for depth sensing. And then as you can see here, it has a dual tone LED flash. And then next, for the selfie camera in front, this is 16MP f2.48 camera. Powering this device is a big 5020 milliamperes battery. And for a device with that type of big battery capacity, this is fairly slim. This handset measures at just 165.7 by 76.6 by 8.8 millimeters, meaning it is still under 10 millimeters, but the battery capacity is 5,000 milliamperes. Most 4,000 milliamperes phones are just this slim, and I like that. Xiaomi did a good job in keeping the body of this phone quite slim despite the large battery capacity. Next, you get 4G LTE, Bluetooth 5, OTG, FM radio, and it has an IR blaster. There is an IR blaster on the top. The IR blaster, you can use that to as a remote control. So it has this Mi Remote app, and then this Mi Remote app, you can add TVs, you can add an aircon, you can add electric fans and other IoT products, and you can use that to control them. You can use this sensor to control them, meaning your phone is your own remote control. And then next is it has a P2I water splash resistance, meaning that this is a phone that can survive accidental water splashes. It can survive accidental spills of coffee. It has P2I water splash resistance, meaning it can survive accidental water splashes, but it does not have the IP rating to survive submersion, water submersion. But at least it can protect your phone from accidental spills of coffee or other liquid substances. And then look at this, it has a side-mounted fingerprint scanner. Xiaomi used this type of solution as the display is not AMOLED, so that they won't need to put a fingerprint scanner at the back, and they can't also put it here. This is their way of making this phone still have the fingerprint scanner. And the fingerprint scanner is quite fast, and it's quite respectable in terms of overall performance so far, and that's a good thing. Next is this phone is available in interstellar black, aurora blue, and glacier white colorways. So far, what I think about its specs is it's very capable So far, what I think about its specs is it is a very So far, I think that this is a very well-machined device. I like that it has Gorilla Glass 5 at the back, and it has Gorilla Glass 5 in front. And the Gorilla Glass 5 that they're using, that's pretty high. And look at this build quality. The build quality looks gorgeous. The gradient design is also nice. The Redmi logo is just subtle. And this is a unique back camera setup that is showing that Xiaomi is innovating, and they're just not copying the design of other phone makers. And there's just a big camera hump here because it is using a pretty big 48MP camera, but that's alright. I like the curves of the phone, that's what's more important, and it has the functionalities of this IR blaster that is very rare for a mid-range smartphone. Commonly you will find that on high-end smartphones like the Huawei Mate series that really costs a lot. And then next is you get USB Type-C. Again, another not so common feature, and it still has the 3.5mm headphone jack slot. Maybe what's lacking is a stereo speaker. It does not have a stereo speaker setup, but that's acceptable for a budget smartphone. At least it has this big display, 6.67 inch. It has this punch hole technology. The bezels are quite slim, and I'm liking the design and overall feel of this phone, especially for the price so far. This one had an issue before that it has screen bleeding, but Xiaomi already seeded an update. I received the update last night to lessen that screen bleeding on the front camera area. And look at this, it's not that visible anymore after the update, and you will only see it if you are in a very dark room and you will push its brightness all the way up to 100%. But even if I push it at 100%, I don't really see it that much, and that's acceptable and that's very understandable for the price. What's important is the resolution is full HD, the viewing angles are okay, and the specs are high for the price. Now I will show you the first camera samples that I took using this phone. Let's begin. So far, I like nearly everything that Xiaomi did with this phone. The specs are high, the build quality looks premium, and the cameras are pretty promising, especially the selfie camera. The selfie camera, this is actually the nicest selfie camera that I've seen on a Xiaomi device priced this low. And look at the price, it is just priced at 10,490 pesos for the 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage version, and 11,990 for the 6 gigs of RAM with 1 to 8 gigabytes of storage edition. Not only that, on May 8, 2020, it will be available at Lazada for just 9,990 pesos. That is for the 4 gigs of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage version. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on our next video. Bye bye.